Just making your way comfortably onto your mat. And just as we're getting settled on our mat and taking a few deep breaths, let's just start with our eyes closed just for 2 or 3 breaths. Just putting aside the rest of the day and arriving here on your mat. Maybe you want to set an intention for the next hour and how you want to feel at the end of class. Have another breath. And open your eyes. And on your next inhale, just bring your shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale and let them drop away. And again, inhale, lift the shoulders. And exhale and let them move down. And one more time, inhale up. Exhale, shoulders down and back, lifting the chest. Gently turn your head to one side and through center and over to the other side and back to center. We're going to move into our mermaid position. So just take if you're sitting cross-legged, take your right leg out to the side, bring your foot behind you. And as you know, you can always modify this and you can straighten that leg out at an angle as well. And right hand on your hip, left fingertips down on the mat. We're just going to lift and lower into this hip a few times. So just rocking in your pelvis, lift and lower your hip. Just warming our body up here. And then the next time we lift our hip, maybe you lift your hips right up off your mat, put your weight into your left hand, and then reach that right arm to the ceiling. Big stretch. Good morning. And then come back down. Bring the right hand down to the center of your mat or on the floor and slide it forward a little bit more, allowing your back to round forward. And then just gently moving that hand side to side. So just let your head droop down and slowly moving your hands side to side, stretching out the back, upper back. And come back to center, slide your hand back, place both hands on either side of your forward left knee. Inhale, lift your chest, sit tall. And exhale to pull your belly in, round your spine, let your forehead come towards your knee. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, dive forward over your leg. Do a couple more each way, follow your breath. Nice flexible spine. The next time you come up tall, bring yourself back to center, and we'll switch our legs around. Bring that right leg forward, left leg out to the side. For any modification, hand on your hip. And we'll start by lifting and lowering that left hip, rocking back and forth. And next time you lift up, you might lift your hips right up off the mat, put your weight into your right hand, lift that left arm, and stretch to the ceiling. Bring yourself back down, left hand onto the floor of the mat, slide it forward, let your back round, and then just slide that hand side to side. And if you find a place that feels like you want to stay, you can always just have an extra breath on one side. And then come back to center, slide your hand in, hands on either side of your right knee for our dives. We start by inhaling, lift the chest, lift the crown of the head, and then exhale and dive forward, forehead towards your knee. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, round forward. And a couple more. Last one, both ways. Lifting up and coming back to center. And you can move your cushion if you're on one off to the side. Make your way to hands and knees. We're going to come down onto our forearms. Clasp your hands for forearm plank. Stepping toes back, come into your plank. You always have the option for knees down. We're going to alternate tapping knees. So one knee taps down and then the other one. And keep going with your knee taps. And you're breathing the whole time. Pause with both knees lifted. And then dip your hips to one side and through center and over to the other side. It's a little swivel here as we dip hips side to side. Swiveling over your toes. One more each side. And then come to center. We'll do 2 dives here, dolphin dives. Lift your hips to the ceiling. Come all the way down to your plank. One more. Lift your hips. Come on down. Bring your knees down. And let's stay on our forearms. So now we have knees under our hips. And we're going to just plant our palms down onto the mat. So you're on your forearms, palms are down, spread your fingers. Extend your right leg out behind you and land lightly on your toes. We're going to lift and lower that right leg. So you're lifting and lowering the extended right leg, and as you lower it, you're just very lightly touching your toes down. So we're doing this with control, working back of the leg into our glutes. Next time that leg is lifted, let's bend and extend at the knee. So bend, extend. You can have your foot flexed the whole time. Next time you bend your knee, let's keep it bent and some pulses here. Pulse it out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee down. Now we're going to go to the other side. If anything needs a little break or a shake out, go ahead and make some adjustments as needed, and then come back to your forearms, palms down, left leg out behind you, land on your toes. We're going to lift and lower that leg. Just lightly tapping the toes down. Next time you lift your leg, keep it lifted. Flexing the foot, we're bending and extending at our knee with the leg in the air. We want these moves to be strong, really feeling the muscles working. Next time your knee is bent, pulse it out here, little pulses in the air. And breath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee comes down. Let's lift all the way up. Come all the way up into kneeling position. So hips lift. We're on our knees. You could have extra cushioning under your knees. And then just for a moment, bring your palms onto your lower back. Lifting the hips forward, lifting the chest, shoulders back. You stay where you are. I'll just turn to face forward. And then let's tuck our toes under. Tucking toes. From here, keeping the chest lifted and shoulders back, reach your fingertips towards your heels. So we're reaching back, thinking about opening and lifting through the front of the body. So lifting the hips and the chest and shoulders back. Keeping all of that, keep reaching your left fingertips to your heel. Bring your right arm forward and reach up to the ceiling. And we're not bending to either side, but we're just reaching in opposition through our fingertips. Right fingertips to the ceiling, left fingertips reaching to your heel. Bring that right arm back down. Left arm is going to come up to the ceiling, and again, just reaching in those 2 directions. For another breath, Bring the left hand down. Let's come back to hands and knees. Make a light fist with your right hand on the mat. Pull the elbow up and lower. And keep going. Elbow comes up and lower. Every time you pull your elbow up, think about the scapula pulling back, back of the shoulder working. Next time the elbow comes up, hold here, extend the arm and bend. So the upper arm is staying stationary alongside the body, and we're extending and bending at the elbow. Next time you extend your arm, keep it extended, hold it here. We're gonna lift opposite leg behind us, make sure it's opposite. So we've got the right arm extended, left leg is gonna come out behind us, toes point down, and then both arm and leg are gonna pulse here, little pulses. Arm and leg together. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and knee down and hand down. Maybe let your hips sway side to side a couple times. Come back to center, light fist with your left hand. Start with that row, pulling your elbow up to your side and then lowering down, pulling the shoulder blade back. Next time the elbow lifts, keep it lifted, extend the arm and bend. Next time that arm is extended, keep the arm extended alongside your body, opposite leg, right leg's gonna come out behind us, and we pulse arm and leg together, toes point down. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hand down and knee down. Let your hips fall back to your heels. Take a child's pose. Arms can reach forward or reach back or any other modification. Have a couple big breaths. And lift yourself up, hands and knees. We're going to do one more exercise down on our forearms today. So keeping your legs as they are, just lower down onto your forearms with your palms down on the mat, fingers are spread. Tuck your toes under. And in a moment, I'm going to get you to lift your knees, and just know that another modification is to keep knees down for this next one. Or if you start doing it and you want to do it with knees down, then just go ahead and do that. So with our toes tucked, we're going to hover our knees above the mat. Step your right foot all the way back, land on your toes. Step your left foot all the way back, land on your toes. So we're in this plank. And then we're going to come forward, right foot forward, left foot forward, or keep hovering the knees above the mat. Other side, left leg steps back, right leg steps back, left toes forward, right toes forward. We'll do one more for each side. Right leg back, left leg back, right leg forward, left leg forward, and last round, starting with the left leg, and come forward. Nice work, and knees down. And let's right away just let our hips fall back, let our head come down. Send your breath to your back. Lifting up, should feel nice and warm now. Let's just roll the shoulders one time, and then we'll swing the feet forward. Come to your boat. Hands under knees, have a breath. Lower yourself onto your forearms behind you. So we're still in our boat position, just back on our forearms. Scooping the belly. Come up on your toes. Walk your toes a little closer towards you. So our feet are in this toes pointed position. We're going to lift our feet up off the mat, bringing your knees towards your chest. And if you can keep your feet pointed. Extend your right leg away from you and maybe bring your left knee a little closer towards your body. And then we're going to switch sides, so the right knee comes in, left leg extends. So we're going to keep going like this, just alternating sides, and we're doing this nice and slow with a little pause. Each time we get into position, we're pausing. We're really reaching that extending leg as if there's a wall there almost beyond reach, and we really have to stretch that leg, make it nice and long. Keeping the scoop in the belly and the breath. Let's go one more to each side. Nice work, you guys. And then the knees come in and your feet come down to the mat. Lift yourself up. Hands are on your knees. We're just going to slide our hands down our shins towards our ankles, and then let your upper body round forward over your legs. Maybe your belly rests on your thighs. Just let your head droop down. Have a breath. Sit up tall. So with that core engaged, we're going to lean back just a little bit, and then we're going to bring fingertips behind our ears with our elbows wide. Lift your left foot off the mat. Twist to your left. Back to center, left foot down. Right foot lifts, twist to your right. And center and foot down. And keep alternating like this. Lifting a foot, twist to that side and center, and then other side. So nice and slow, really checking in on how this feels in your body. Working that upper body in the twist, working oblique muscles in the waist. And we're always breathing. Let's do one more each side. Keep your elbows wide. Nice work. And let's come forward over our legs again. Just let your hands slide down to your ankles or your feet. Let your upper body come forward. Have a breath. Nice. So let's make our way onto our back. So you can start with knees bent or legs straight, your preference. We'll reach the arms forward and we're going to roll down with control onto our back. Have a couple breaths. Hundreds. Options. You can keep your head down, you can keep your knees bent, or you can extend your legs. So scooping belly, lifting feet. Upper body curls up, arms lift with palms facing down, either knees bent or legs extending away from you. Start pumping your arms. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in and out. 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 Breathe in, out, in, out. You have 2 more rounds. In, out. Last one. In. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Head down. Knees pull in. Option to rock. Back to center. Feet to the mat. So just have your arms at your side with your palms down. Maybe tuck your shoulder blades a little more underneath you so your collarbones are wide. We're going to come up on our toes. So feet are in toes pointed position. And this is always an option. So if that doesn't work for you, you can just have your feet in a rested position. Scooping the belly, lift one foot, lift the other foot. So we have both feet lifted, knees are bent. Extend one leg to the ceiling. and bend, and then the other leg extend to the ceiling and bend, and just alternate sides, extending one leg and bend, extend the other leg and bend. And keep going, checking in with that scoop in the belly. One more each side. Pause with your knees bent, and now we're going to do both legs at the same time. Now, if this triggers your lower back, you can always go back to alternating legs. Otherwise, we're doing both legs to the ceiling and bend. And keep going. So you want to make sure you have the abdominals engaged. You're protecting your back. Next time both legs are extended to the ceiling, pause here. Flex both feet at the ankles and then point both feet. And go back and forth between a flex and a point, checking in with your breath. One more each way. Nice, bend one knee, bend the other knee, bring your feet down. Have a big breath. Single leg circles is next, and options are either arms at your side, or to add a little extra challenge, you could bring your arms overhead. Slide your right leg out on the mat, left leg to the ceiling. Push your heel to the ceiling, cross midline, circle down, around, out to the side and back up. Keep going, follow your breath. Inhale as your leg moves away. Exhale as your leg moves up. When you're ready, change direction with your circles. Let's do one more circle here. Bend that knee, bring your foot down, slide the left leg out, slide the right foot in, right leg to the ceiling, and go ahead and circle, crossing midline, circling that leg. With big breaths. Next time the leg comes forward, we'll go the other way. Let's go one more circle here. Good work. And then bend your knee, foot down. Slide the other foot in so both knees are bent. Bring your arms back down to the side of your body. Have a couple big breaths. And then let's interlace our hands behind our head. So just bring your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers. And just let that rest down, elbows wide. Checking in with pulling slightly in and up of the lower abdominals. We're going to bring our right knee towards our chest. And then we're going to curl upper body up, bringing forehead towards your knee. Pause here. Bring your right hand onto your right thigh. So the left hand staying behind the head. Right palm is on your right thigh. And then a little opposition resistance here. We're going to push the hand into the thigh as we push the thigh into the hand. Stay here for one or two more breaths. Make sure you're breathing. And then your right hand comes back behind your head and your foot comes down, head comes down. As your left knee comes towards your chest, we curl up again. Left hand on your leg, pushing hand and thigh together. Hold here for a breath or two. And then as we bring our hand back behind our head, head comes down and foot comes down. Over to the other side, right knee, curl up. Hand on your thigh, push. Hand comes back, foot comes down, lower the head. Other side, lifting your knee, curl up. Hand on your thigh to push. Lower the foot, lower the head. We'll do one more each side. So a right knee, curl up, hand on your thigh. Hand and thigh pushing together. Feel that in your abdominals. Lower the foot, lower the head. Last one here, left knee, curl up, hand on your thigh, push, push, push. And then head down and foot down. Arms back to your sides. We're going to slide the left leg out and in a few times. So sliding that heel out on the mat, extend the left leg, and then slide the heel back in, scooping the belly. A couple more, just sliding out, sliding in. Next time you slide the leg out, keep it extended. Toes are pointing up to the ceiling, belly's engaged. We're going to lift and lower that left leg a few times. When you lower it, just have it hover above the mat. It doesn't need to touch all the way down. One more here. And then slide that foot back in. Right leg, we're going to slide out and slide in. Scooping the belly as you slide in. Next time you slide out, keep it extended, toes pointing up. Lift and lower, hovering above the mat as you lower. And now as we put the right leg down, keep it extended on the mat and slide the left leg out to meet it. We're going to bring our heels to touch. Push your heels towards each other. At the same time, push both heels into the mat. Feel that activation all along your legs. Arms come to the ceiling and arms overhead. So keep pushing your heels together and down, and we'll do one roll up. Breathe in, and as you exhale, roll yourself up. And as always, if you get part way, you can use your hands as needed. Come up to seated. We're going to bring our legs a little wider so we're in a V so your feet are out towards the edges of your mat. Feet are flexed, toes pointing up. Arms are going to reach forward, fingertips forward, sitting nice and tall to start. Inhale. And as we exhale, belly pulls in, rounding the back, reach the arms forward, stretch your spine, crown of the head forward. On your next inhale, sit tall, reach your arms to the ceiling. And we're going to circle our arms back and down, open across the chest, and then bring your arms all the way forward to our starting position. And then round forward, stretch your spine, reach your fingertips forward, reach your head forward. Inhale, reach all the way up to the ceiling. And then circle those arms back and down, stretch into the shoulders, bring your fingertips to reach forward. We'll do one more. Reach forward from the tailbone to the crown of the head, stretch. Next inhale, reach up, sit tall, and circle those arms all the way around. And bring your arms down, roll the shoulders, shake things out. Bring your legs together. Zip your legs together again. Heels together, toes apart. Fingertips on your shoulders with elbows wide for twist. Twist to your right. Back through center, inhale, exhale to the left. And keep going like this with your twist. Keep those elbows wide. Twist comes from your waist. Next time we come to center, let's pause. Bring your arms out to the side with your palms down, shoulders away from your ears. Twist to your right. Center, over to the other side. And you can add a pulse. So we can twist, pulse, center. Twist, pulse, center. One more each side. Nice work. And then bring those arms down, roll the shoulders. So staying up and seated for a moment here, let's bend our knees. Bring one knee, whichever one you choose, towards your chest and come into the single leg stretch position. So your inside hand at your knee, outside hand toward the ankle. Once you get into that position, pulling belly in, allow your back to round, forehead towards your knee. Lean back a little bit so that you're able to extend the other leg and hover above the mat, get yourself balanced. And then let's see how much control we can use. to lower ourselves onto our back into single leg stretch position. So here we go, just lower yourself back down. We're right here ready for single leg stretch. And so let's go right into it and start switching sides. So we're curled up, we're looking down. As one knee comes in, other leg is extending away, and we're using our hand position. Inside hand, knee, outside hand, ankle to pull that knee in and breathe. Let's go 4 more. Last one. And let your head come down. Pull the knees in. Rock side to side. And center, feet to the mat. Engaging core. Lift feet. Upper body curls up. Left leg extend to the ceiling. Both hands are going to hold on to the left leg for a straight leg stretch. Right leg's going to extend and hover above the mat. Both legs are staying straight as we switch them in the air and we hold on to the leg that's coming towards us. And switch. And switch. As you grab onto the leg coming towards you, give it a little pull. Forehead towards knee. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice work. Head down, feet down. And we could do some windshield wiper knees. Bring your knees or feet a little wider. Let your knees fall side to side. And knees to center, feet to center. And we'll do crisscross. Scooping belly, lifting feet, curling up, hands behind your head, elbows wide. Left knee comes in, right leg extends, twist to the left, and then switch sides. And keep going. So your hands are light behind your head. We're not pulling our head. We're also keeping elbows wide. You're not trying to bring your elbow towards your knee. We're focusing on what's happening at our waist. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to center and head down and feet down. Let's do a full body stretch. So slide those legs out again. Bring your arms overhead. Stretch your body out, abdominals out, big breaths. Arms back to your sides. Slide your feet in. We're going to do one other set of crisscross. And the option or variation we're doing today, we're going to have our fists lightly in front of our chest. And every time we twist as our knee comes in, we're going to punch our arm across midline on the outside of that knee. So getting ready by engaging your core and then lifting your feet, curling upper body, and then we're going to have those light fists in front of our chest. As your left knee comes in, right leg extends, and then we punch the opposite hand, right arm comes across midline as we twist. And then we go to the other side, twist. So the rest of the move is the same. We're just adding this punching arm coming across midline. Strong arms, strong legs. With control. We'll go 4, 3, 2, and 1, and center. And you choose your move here if you want to pull your knees in, or windshield wiper, or full body stretch. Any other move. Focus on your breath. And then we'll all meet in position to get ready for bridge. With your feet coming close to your body. Tucking shoulder blades under, arms at your side with palms down. Lift up to your bridge and pause here at the top, holding your hips in your lifted position. We're going to let both knees fall open to the sides and then back to center. And one more time, knees out to the side, back to center, and lower down. We'll just do that one more time. Lifting up to bridge, knees out to the sides, and center. One more, knees out, and center, and very slowly come on down. Nice. Rolling over to your side. On your forearm, bottom knee bent, top leg extended. Have your top hand on your hip. Lifting hips up to your side. Plank. We're going to lift that top leg. Bend your top knee towards your chest. Extend the leg again and lightly lower. And again, lift that top leg, knee towards the chest, extend your leg, and lower. One more time. Lift, bend, extend, and lower. Nice work. Stay up on your forearm and lower your hips. So we're on our forearm, hips are down, and we're going to bend both knees forward in sort of like the leg position that we use for clamshell. So you can keep, I'm trying to decide, we'll try our top hand on our hip, see how that goes. So keeping your knee bent, we're gonna lift that top leg in parallel to the bottom leg. So we're lifting the whole leg in the air, parallel to the bottom leg, and then we're extending the leg away from us, and then bend the knee again, and lower. Lift your leg, extend, bend, and lower. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. This time, when we extend the leg, let's pause here with the leg extended, and we'll do a little lift and lower in the air without bringing the foot all the way down, just a slow and small lift and lower here. Couple more. Nice work. And then you can bring that knee forward again and lower down. We're going to lower the upper body onto support of our lower arm. And then you can extend both legs. So in our sideline position, with legs extended in line with your body. So start by hovering that top leg. And then internally rotating from your hip, we're going to point the toes down. So the whole leg is turning so that the toes are slightly pointing down. In this position, we're going to lift to the ceiling and pause. And then we're going to externally rotate the whole leg. So turning the whole leg so the toes point up and then lower. And then point the toes down and lift, point the toes up and lower, and keep going like this. Each time we pause and we change that orientation at our hip so that our toes point down and then our toes point up. We'll do one more like this and then we'll switch that around. So pause here with your leg down, hovering above the bottom leg. This time we're starting with toes pointing up. So you're rotating from your hip, pointing your toes up, lift to the ceiling, point the toes down and lower. Point the toes up and lift, point the toes down and lower. So in this one, we kind of can think of the toes are pointing in the direction that we're moving. Let's do a couple more each way. Nice. And then let that leg just rest down for a moment, have a breath. Bring your top knee towards your chest and lower the leg down. Bottom leg, we're going to lift and lower a few times. One more. Good work. Let your head come right down on your bottom arm if it's not already there. So in any comfortable position, just support your head down on your arm. And then we're going to have both knees bent. So bring that bottom knee and bend it forward. So both knees bent forward. We'll do a bit of a flow, a stretch flow here. So our top arm, we're going to reach forward. So just reaching those fingertips forward, maybe you even let your shoulder come forward a little bit and you're rolling your chest a bit towards the mat. And then we're going to lift that top arm to the ceiling and open it up behind us. Maybe you're coming on, let your head fall back, let your arm fall back. And you decide how far you want to go. And then we're going to come forward again. So we're going to lift that arm and reach forward. And then arm to the ceiling and rolling back. So we're going nice and slow in these two directions. And as always, if you find a position and your body wants to stay there and just stretch it out, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we'll go one more each way. Nice, and then come to center. We'll go over onto our other side, starting in your side plank. So you're going to be on your forearm, bottom knee bent, top leg straight, hand on your hip, lift your hips up, starting in our plank. We lift that top leg, we bring the knee to the chest, extend away and lightly lower. Lift the top leg, knee to the chest, extend and lower. And keep going. And do one more. Nice work. Staying on your forearm, let your hips come down. Bend both knees. So you're on your forearm, knees are forward. Keeping your legs parallel, you're going to hover that top leg, lift it in the air. Extend your leg away from you. Bend your knee and lower. Lift the leg, extend, bend, and lower. Lift, extend, bend, and lower. This time when we extend the leg, let's pause here with it extended for a small lift and lower in the air. Couple more. Nice work. And then you can bend your knee and bring it back down. Support your head on your lower arm in any way with your elbow bent or any other option. We're going to have both legs extended now. Hover your top leg. Internal rotation from the hip to bring our toes pointing down. Lift to the ceiling, pause. Point the toes up and lower. Point the toes down and lift, toes up and lower. Keep going like this. This time the heel is leading the way. We'll do one more each way with this pattern and then we'll switch that up. So this time we start with toes pointing up, lift to the ceiling, and then toes pointing down to lower. Toes point up, lift, toes point down, lower, and keep going. And one more here. Nice work. And you can let that leg rest down, have a breath. Bring top knee towards your chest and lower the top leg down out of the way so we can lift and lower the bottom leg a few times. One more. And then let your head come right down on your bottom arm in a comfortable position. Bend both knees. We'll do that stretching flow. Reaching the top arm forward, reach for your fingertips. Maybe roll forward slightly so the chest comes down towards the mat, and then open that arm to the ceiling and open it back behind you. And then reach forward. And then roll back. We'll do a couple more. Nice. And then come back to your starting position. And we'll go ahead and roll right away onto our belly. And you can stack your hands and let your forehead rest on your hands. Imagine you're just pulling your belly button a millimeter off of the mat, so there's a little bit of engagement of your abdominals. Legs are extended with toes pointed. We're going to alternate lifting extended legs. So lift your right leg off the mat, pointing your toes, leg extended, and lower. Lift your left leg and lower. And keep going, alternating, lifting legs with a little pause. So each time you lift your leg, just pause. And we'll go one more each side. And then let those legs rest down on the mat. Slide your arms overhead, forehead to the mat. Lift your head slightly, lift both arms off the mat. Pull your elbows towards your sides, bend your elbows, pull them back, lift, lift, lift. Reach forward again, and everything comes down. Lift your head, lift your arms, pull your elbows to your sides, lifting off the mat. Reach forward, lower your arms, lower your head. We'll do 2 more rounds. Lifting head, lifting arms, elbows pull back, shoulder blades squeezing together. Reach forward and lower. Last one, lift, pull, reach, and lower. Nice. And then once again, just stack your hands under your forehead. Bend both knees so feet are in the air. And let your both feet sway side to side. So both feet go over to one side and through center and over to the other side. A nice release for our hips and our lower back. So this should feel relaxing and releasing some tension. And then let your feet come to center and lower. Bring your palms under your shoulders. Lift yourself up to hands and knees. So coming back to tabletop, hands and knees. Reach your right arm out to the side and revolve up and reach up to the ceiling, and just pause here, opening across the chest. Have a breath. And then we're gonna thread the needle, bringing our hand back down, scoop behind your left hand, come all the way down onto your right shoulder, right side of your head. Pausing here for a couple breaths. Stretching out that upper back. Lifting back up to hands and knees, and we'll do the other side. Left arm out to the side, revolve up, reach to the ceiling, have a full breath as you open up. And then scoop that arm down, slide all the way under, come down onto your left shoulder, left side of the head. Hold here for 2 big breaths. Then lift yourself up. And we'll swing our legs forward on the mat. We can have our legs extended. We're going to roll down on our back. Start by reaching forward over your legs. With control, roll yourself down onto your back. You can let our arms come overhead for a moment. Have a breath. And bring your arms to your sides. Slide your feet in, knees are bent. And then let's bring our knees towards our chest and have one hand on each knee. And then both knees going in the same direction. Make little circles with your knees. So our hands are just guiding our knees, circling around. Again, this is a nice release for the lower back and the hips. When you're ready, you can go in the other direction. Nice. And then pause with your knees at center. And with your hands on your knees, bring your knees a little bit more towards your armpits. So you can let your legs come apart a little bit as we bring knees towards armpits, pulling in. Again, checking in with how this feels in your lower back. It should feel like a very nice stretch and opening. Now maybe you stay right here, or if you feel like getting a little more depth into this, you could bring your hands in between your legs, put your hands on your shins, and maybe slide your hands down your shins towards your ankles or your feet, wherever your hands land, and then just, again, just letting your legs fall out to the sides. Make sure you can, wherever you are, that you can have big breaths, big, deep, full breaths. If your breath is getting shallow or you're feeling tension, then just back off a bit. Focus on those full breaths. And when you're ready, you can release this position wherever you're at and bring your feet back down to the mat. Let's cross our right ankle over our left knee and let your right knee fall out to the side. Bring your right hand onto your thigh and gently maybe open the hip a little more. And options, you can stay right here if this is feeling like enough of a stretch in your hip. Or if you would like, you can lift that left foot off the mat and interlace your hands behind your left thigh. But only if you can do that, keeping your upper body and your head comfortably down on the mat, and continue to breathe. Have a couple more breaths. And then lower everything down. Bring both feet down to the mat. Cross left ankle over right knee. Bring your hand onto your thigh. Just give a little gentle push. Again, you decide where you're going. Stay right here, or lift that right foot off the mat. Interlace your hands around your thigh. Just using the exhales to relax into the position. And when you're ready, release. And bringing both feet down. Let's slide our legs out on the mat and maybe bring your, slide your feet out towards the edges of your mat. And then just let your toes fall out to the side. You can slide your arms a little more away from your body and turn your palms to face the ceiling. And if you'd like, close your eyes. Do a body scan, just trying to get into a fully relaxed position and letting go of tension. So toes are falling out to the side, checking in with your toes and your feet and your ankles and letting them be soft. And moving up to your calf muscles, heavy on the mat, and your thighs. And your hips are sinking down into the mat. Seeing how you feel in your lower back, and your mid back, and your upper back. Letting go of any holding and tension, letting the mat and the floor support you. And shoulders are heavy and arms are heavy down to the floor. Hands are in a relaxed position. And just see if you can let go of that tension in your shoulders and your neck. Release your jaw. Let your head sink down into the mat. And then keeping all of that, focus on your breath. Bringing your breath right to the bottom of your lungs as you inhale and exhaling all of the air back out. And just focus here on your breath for a few rounds of breath. You can start to open your eyes and slide your feet in and roll to one side and come to seated. So sitting comfortably, a nice tall spine. We'll do a seated twist. So we're going to start by both arms reaching to the ceiling. Twist to your right, and then let your right hand come behind you. Wherever it lands is just fine. And then the left hand can come down onto your thigh. And pause here in your twist. We have a tall spine. Maybe that back shoulder can come back a little more. Staying here for a few breaths. Now as you come back to center, we'll reach those arms to the ceiling. Twisting at your waist, come over to the left, and then let your hands come down. I'm thinking about your tall spine, shoulder back. Have another breath here. And then come to center. One more time, reach those fingertips to the ceiling. Just pause here. Let your hands rest down on your lap for a moment. On your next inhale, lift those shoulders up to your ears again, and then have a big sigh as you let them go. Do that 2 more times. Shoulders come up, and then let them go. 1 more. Fingertips down. Inhale, arms to the ceiling. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. 1 more here. Nice work, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me.